For decades, Sainsbury's stores have been a safe haven for UK seniors, trusted for fair prices and familiar brands. But in the shadow of a cost of living crisis, something has quietly changed. Shoppers on fixed pensions now face subtle new risks, including loyalty schemes that exclude the less tech-savvy, rising weekly bills that few notice until it is too late, and trusted products shrinking behind old labels. This is not about supermarket scandals or danger. It is about the silent erosion of value in places once thought reliable. What exactly are seniors losing, and why is no one warning them until now? Familiar aisles, steady brands, and a sense of being looked after – this is what Sainsbury's has meant to generations of older shoppers across the UK. For many, it is more than just a supermarket. It is a place where routines were built and trust was earned, one weekly shop at a time. Since the 1970s, the layout of local Sainsbury's stores rarely changed. Shelves stayed in the same order, making it easy to find everyday staples, tea, biscuits, bread, without having to search or ask for help. Friendly staff greeted regulars by name. The checkouts were always manned. It was common to see neighbours catching up near the fresh produce section or the bakery counter. This sense of reliability became a lifeline, especially for those who saw other supermarkets as unpredictable or impersonal. Sainsbury's built its reputation on quality and fairness, promising not just good food, but peace of mind. Seniors often recall how Sainsbury's own label products, tea bags, digestive biscuits, and tinned goods stood for honest value. There was a deep confidence that what was on the shelf matched what was on the label, and that prices were fair for what you got. Many remember shopping there for decades, describing it as a place where you always knew where you stood. For one senior who has shopped at the same branch for over 40 years, this trust runs deep. She remembers Sainsbury's as her go-to for 40 years, the same layout, quality basics, no tricks. The store became part of the weekly rhythm, a constant presence through changes in family, work, and neighbourhoods. Even as new supermarkets opened nearby, the familiar orange signs and steady service kept people coming back. This strong bond between Sainsbury's and its senior customers is not just about habit, it is about a promise that the store would always deliver what it claimed, without hidden catches or surprises. That promise shaped shopping habits, built loyalty, and set a standard for what older shoppers expected from their local supermarket. It is this foundation of dependability that makes any changes, however small, feel personal. For those on fixed incomes, the sense of protection found in a Sainsbury's shop has been more than just comfort. It has been a quiet form of security against uncertainty. Rising prices at the supermarket are not just headlines. They are felt in every receipt, every week, by seniors living on fixed pensions. The numbers tell a clear story. In the year to August 2025, UK food prices climbed by 5.1%. But the state pension, the main source of income for millions of older people, rose only 4.1% under the triple lock. That gap, just 1 percentage point, means less money left over for other essentials. For those already budgeting carefully, even a few pounds lost each week can add up fast. Senior C, a retired bus driver from Sheffield, keeps a notebook to track her spending. Her weekly Sainsbury's shop, once a manageable £40, now comes in at £48. She has not changed what she buys, just milk, bread, fruit, and a few basics, but the total climbs higher each month. She says her pension goes up a little each April, but the shop rises more. She has started skipping treats and buying smaller packs, but it still feels like she is chasing her own tail. Numbers from the Office for National Statistics back up her experience. Pensioner households spend a larger share of their income on food than younger families. When prices rise, there is less room to cut back. A 10p increase on bread or milk does not sound like much, but across a basket of 20 items, that is an extra £2, over £100 a year. For many seniors, that is a heating bill or a month of bus fares. The pressure is not just about luxuries. It is staples, tea, cereal, butter, vegetables, costing more each time. Some people aged over 65 have told Age UK they now skip meals or halve their portions to make ends meet. The Office for National Statistics estimates that a quarter of pensioners have reduced their food intake due to cost. The silent squeeze is everywhere in smaller shopping baskets, in the worry about whether the pension will last the month, in the careful mental arithmetic at the till. This is why every penny matters. When prices rise faster than pensions, the margin for error disappears. Seniors who once relied on Sainsbury's for steady value now find themselves scrutinizing every label, weighing up whether to buy the same brands or to switch to smaller packs. For many, the weekly shop has become a source of anxiety rather than comfort. The familiar aisles that once offered peace of mind now demand vigilance. The sense of security that Sainsbury's once provided is being tested by numbers that simply do not add up. Senior B stands in front of the shelf, holding a tin of Sainsbury's own brand baked beans. The label is clear: 65 pence with a nectar card, 80 pence without. It is a small difference, but for someone counting every penny, 15 pence matters. She places the beans in her basket and continues, picking up a loaf of wholemeal bread, a packet of tea bags, and a carton of milk, each one showing two prices side by side. The pattern repeats across the store, hundreds of everyday items, all with a split price. The lower figure is highlighted in yellow, promising savings for Nectar members. The higher one sits just below, almost as an afterthought. At the checkout, Senior B presents her basket. She does not have a smartphone and has never signed up for Nectar. No smartphone. The assistant scans each item and the till tallies the non-member prices. The beans ring up at 80 pence. The bread is 15 pence more than the shelf's bold print. The tea bags have another 20 pence added. The receipt grows longer, the total higher than expected. Senior B asks about the difference. The staff member explains that you need a Nectar card for the lower prices. There is no way to apply the discount after the sale. The only option is to pay the higher price or return the items. For seniors like her, this is not just about missing a deal. It is about feeling quietly penalised for not having the right card or the right technology. Sainsbury's launched nationwide Nectar prices in April 2024, rolling out member-only discounts on thousands of products. The company claims that regular users save up to £12 on an £80 shop. But for those without a Nectar card or those who forget to scan it, the penalty is automatic. According to Age UK, nearly 30% of people over 75 do not own a smartphone. Many use basic mobiles or rely entirely on landlines. Even with a physical Nectar card, some offers require unlocking in the app, a step impossible for those who are not online. The confusion does not stop at the till. Complaints have surged since the rollout, with over 150 cases logged by the consumer group, which in the past year alone. Seniors report being charged £2 to £5 extra per basket, only realising when they compare receipts at home. Some have managed to get refunds after speaking to a manager, but many simply pay the difference, unsure how to challenge the system. Sainsbury's response is that anyone can sign up for Nectar in store, but the process is not always straightforward, especially for those uncomfortable with forms or technology. The evidence is there, printed in black and white on every receipt. Two customers can buy the same basket and pay different totals, depending on whether they have a Nectar card. For those on fixed incomes, this is not just a missed opportunity, it is a silent drain on their weekly budget. The shelf labels promise savings, but only for those who can navigate the rules. For everyone else, the cost is quietly added, one item at a time. The lesson is clear. Shopping at Sainsbury's now means check every label, know which price applies, and decide whether loyalty is rewarded or quietly punished. Senior D stands at her kitchen table, 2 boxes of Sainsbury's own brand tea bags side by side. One, bought in 2021, holds 80 bags and weighs 227 grams. The other, picked up last week, offers just 70 bags and 200 grams. The packaging looks almost identical, same orange label, same font, but the box is lighter in her hand. The price, however, has gone up. On paper, it is a small change, but the cost per tea bag has jumped by nearly 18% in under 3 years. This pattern repeats across the cupboard. Digestive biscuits, once a 400-gram pack for £1 and 20 pence, now come in a 350-gram sleeve at £1 and 25 pence. That is a 13% rise in the price per 100 grams, even though the pack on the shelf looks almost the same. For staples like cornflakes, the 750-gram box has shrunk to 680 grams, while the price has crept up from £1 and 50 pence to £1 and 60 pence. Each time the unit price, the real cost per portion, edges higher, hidden in the fine print. Shrinkflation is not a headline. It happens quietly in the background as pack sizes shrink and prices inch up. The familiar brands and products that once lasted a week now run out sooner. Seniors like Dee notice when the tea caddy empties faster, or when the biscuits do not stretch to the end of the week. The numbers are clear. A box of tea that once made 80 cups now makes 70, but costs more. A packet of biscuits that used to fill the tin now leaves it short by a handful. The difference is not just in the wallet, it is in the daily routine. For shoppers on a fixed income, these changes matter. The price label on the shelf may only rise by a few pence, but the amount of food in the basket shrinks at the same time. Over a month, the extra cost adds up. Over a year, it is money that could have covered a bill or a birthday card for a grandchild. Seniors are left doing the maths in the aisle, squinting at unit prices printed in tiny font. £1 and 8 pence per 100 grams for butter, up from 71 pence just a year ago. The packaging rarely warns of the change. Instead, the familiar branding gives a sense of continuity, even as the contents quietly diminish. The effect is a silent erosion of value. Seniors who once trusted that a pack would last the week now find themselves returning to the shops sooner or making do with less. The sense of reliability, built over decades, is undermined not by a single big price hike, but by a series of small, almost invisible adjustments. For those who remember when a pound bought a full basket, the new reality is harder to accept. The numbers may seem minor on their own, but together they chip away at the security that Sainsbury's once promised. The message is clear. Every pack, every portion, every penny counts more than ever. Recipe tweaks and staff cutbacks have changed the Sainsbury's experience in ways that are not always obvious at first glance. Long-time employees remember when own brand recipes were guarded closely, with quality as the top priority. But since 2022, a former buyer explains, cost-cutting has taken center stage. Staples such as biscuits and ready meals now rely on cheaper oils and extra starch, with less butter or meat than before. The result lands on the dinner table. Sainsbury's lasagna, once rated 4.2 out of 5 on Trustpilot, now sits at 3.4. Seniors who once trusted their favourites describe blandness or a strange aftertaste, and they are often unsure what has changed until they check the ingredients. The difference is not just in the food. Fewer staff are visible on the shop floor, and help is harder to find. Sainsbury's annual reports show that self-service now handles over 70% of transactions, up from 40% 5 years ago. This means fewer manned checkouts and longer waits for those who need assistance with heavy baskets or unfamiliar machines. Senior F, who struggles with arthritis, recalls waiting for help at the self-checkout and feeling rushed by the queue behind her. It used to be that someone would spot you and step in. Now you are on your own unless you ask, sometimes twice. For many, the subtle changes add up. Ingredient swaps and reduced service may not show up on the receipt, but they quietly erode the value and care that seniors once relied on. The promise of value and support, so central to Sainsbury's reputation, now feels less certain. These hidden shifts make it even more important for older shoppers to watch what goes into their basket and to demand the clear, honest service they remember. A simple check can help protect both health and wallet. Dietitians recommend scanning food labels for sodium. Anything above 1.5 grams per 100 grams is best left on the shelf, especially for those managing blood pressure or heart issues. Ready meals and tinned soups, once considered safe staples, now often carry more salt than before. Ingredient lists have grown longer, with additives and fillers quietly replacing familiar basics. For many seniors, a quick glance at the sodium line or the number of ingredients can be the difference between a meal that supports health and one that quietly undermines it. Price alternatives matter just as much for savings. Senior G, retired from the NHS, keeps a running tally of her weekly shop. She noticed that the same basic basket, milk, bread, eggs and tea, costs less at Aldi than at Sainsbury's, even after nectar discounts. In November, her Sainsbury's basket came to £25.80 with nectar, but just £23.10 at Aldi. That is £2.70 saved, week after week, without needing any card or app. Discounters like Aldi and Lidl do not require loyalty schemes. Prices are clear, and the shelf label matches the till every time. Many seniors now split their shop, buying trusted favourites from Sainsbury's and basics from the discounter. This approach stretches a fixed income further, without the stress of apps or surprise totals at checkout. The next step is a practical checklist, ways to make every pound count. Every senior deserves to shop with confidence, not confusion. Here is a 5-point checklist to help protect your budget and your peace of mind at Sainsbury's. First, always compare the Nectar and non-Nectar prices on the shelf. If you do not have a Nectar card, check that you are comfortable paying the higher price before you add the item to your basket. Second, look closely at pack sizes and unit prices. The box or packet may look the same as last year, but the contents could be smaller, and the price per 100 grams may have risen. Third, count the number of items inside, tea bags, biscuits, or slices, rather than relying only on the outer packaging. Subtle reductions add up over time. Fourth, consider whether own brand swaps or discounter alternatives might offer better value for the essentials on your list. Loyalty to a single shop does not always mean the best deal. Fifth, check every label for salt, sugar, and additives, especially in ready meals and basics. If you spot a price discrepancy or something that does not seem right, keep your receipt and politely ask staff for clarification. By following these steps, you can make every pound go further and avoid the silent losses that are easy to miss in a rush. This checklist is not just about saving money, it is about staying in control of your choices every time you shop. Today, every pound counts more than ever for UK seniors. As supermarkets shift to digital loyalty, silent costs punish those left behind. 1 in 4 people aged over 65 do not have a smartphone. Price tags may look familiar, but trust now demands vigilance. In this new normal, protecting your wallet means asking hard questions at every single shop. Your attention is your strongest defense. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below.